views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody. Super welcome. Welcome you to the Dr. Pat Show, Talk Radio to Thrive By. And today, my co-host, Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne. I love this. I told you we had a great lineup today for all of you out there. For those of you, just take a deep breath. This is amazing. This is amazing. Today we're going to talk about authenticity, your key to abundance. And boy, did you all get a dose of that in the last hour? Did you get a dose of that? What the heck can we learn from a 10-year-old? I'm telling you, I'm going home. I'm going to have to listen to that interview again. But that's what Leslie does. She helps us understand the power and the purpose of authenticity. This is one of the things she does. And, there are so many things we have to look at when we talk about that in our lives. For most of my life, I was used to walking around with a mask. I didn't even know I got the mask on. I got the mask on. And, in the corporate world, it was the mask with the little bow tie suit that you had on. You had the whole masquerade outfit. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Masquerade Ball on the 1st. Maybe I'll go as a 1980s corporate executive. But thank you all for tuning us in. Leslie Fonteyne, as I said, is a transformation catalyst. She uses her intuitive and energetic gifts to catapult all of us into living the life that we were born to manifest, whether it is shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health. This is the question. How does it happen? Well, I'll tell you what. Leslie has been someone that has an unbeatable team of ascended masters, archangels, and brings them into the conversation so that we can all partner together to discover our higher self, that source energy, so that the shift of those blocks doesn't have to be a lifelong journey. Doesn't have to be something we agonize over. Doesn't have to be, if you're me, 10 years of therapy to try to figure out why I couldn't get out of my own way. But we have evolved, and thanks to Leslie and the work that she does in helping people all over the world, we don't have to agonize anymore. The question I think that we all really look at is, do we really want abundance in our lives? Do we really want it? And are we showing up with that imposter theory that says, yeah, I want it, but I don't really believe I can have it? Oh, I'd love to have it, but it's just for that Leslie. Oh, it's just for Pat. That abundance thing, I can't even say the word, let alone be the word. But today, authenticity, your key to abundance. Leslie, welcome to the show. Good to have you here.
So great to be here and great to be in the studio, too.
Yeah, did you ever have a mask like I did? I had the whole little uniform with the bow tie. Remember the bow tie? Remember that movie, Working Girl?
Yes.
When she had...
I loved that movie.
I love that movie, too. I love that. Unfortunately, her taking the mask off had to do with, taking some risks.
She did, and in the movie, it worked for her. Part of us doesn't think that works in the real world, does it?
Yeah, I think you got to kind of try a little bit to see what fits you, what fits on you.
Absolutely.
Why is it important to be genuine? What is it about us that we have now learned in the rise of consciousness?
Well, I like to take it back just a step about why does authenticity even matter?
Yeah.
First of all, most of us have lived much of our lives, and you talked about this, unconsciously. We just go like drones into the world thinking this is how we need to be, this is what we need to care about. We may buy a house and we didn't really care whether we had a house or not. We have children because that's a thing to do. We live in a certain town because we've always lived there. We go to work for a certain company because that's what you're supposed to do, and that's what's of value. It's all external based. And, you know, when we come into the world as a baby and someone's holding us, coddling us, we're 4 weeks old, we don't say to that baby, you know, you're really cute now, but when you're 18, I just want you to know that who you are doesn't really matter. And so why does it take so long? Why is it harder for some than for others? Back to what you said. It's unraveling the mask, getting down to the essence. Because when you're intending and desiring something that is important to you, you may get some things at first right away, bringing it in. The problem is there isn't a resonance within you because it's really not coming from your essence. So when you want to manifest long term and you want to step into all that you are, then you begin to come across some of the things you go, wow, I really don't want that. I really don't care about that. And that's frightening. So then we hold on even tighter. So that's part of the path to authenticity that matters, because if you can start to let go of those things that you don't really care about and be brave enough to step into what you do, that's when you start to experience the exponential, pure potentiality.
What are we afraid of? I mean, you know, and I have to speak to my my own journey. You know, I don't know when it was, what year it was, what moment it was that I had just awakening where I thought, oh my God, I've been living my life mostly in fear. You know, I can't even begin to give you the list of things.
Yeah.
But what is it about us? Why do we become afraid of that realization, that connection with ourselves?
Well, and knowing me, here I go again. I'm going to step back to source. We put onto source what we learned from our parents. We learned a kind of, in many cases, conditional love. We learned the way life is, the way it's supposed to be. This is how money's made. This is, you know, get a grip, wake up,
suck it up.
All those
favorite.
things that we learn. We all have lines that we learned in our lives. And so we go in and we try to be that, because ultimately as a child we have unconditional love for that parent and their values. And some of it, you know, maybe we say, yeah, I don't want it, but their energy is still stuck in our field. So when you look at Source and you say, well, Source loves you unconditionally for who you are, what's the first reaction? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was already thinking it.
Right. So we go, yeah, right. So then what I would challenge you to do next, and what I do with my clients, is go, let's dig into that one. Why are you saying, yeah, right? Whose voice is that? So we start to peel back the onion. We start to get clear on whose energy is stuck in your field, who's really talking, till we get to your authentic voice and who the heck you really are.
Well, you know, one of the things that I've discovered, and maybe, you know, I know we're going to talk about this, is we have to figure out how to even recognize our authentic voice. You know, it is, you know, who will the real me stand up, right?
It's a frightening thought for some of us, because we think that and this is something I clear often with clients, is, you know, dealing with core fear. If I clear the core fear of fully stepping into my power, will I lose love? Will I be abandoned? What will happen? Will I be rejected? There is that bottom line sense that if I step into my essence and all that I am and stand in its fullness, that I am going to somehow be left alone and abandoned. That is the terror. So when you ask, well, why would we do this? Because we don't truly believe that we will be loved for who we are.
Mm. Isn't that really pointing to that age-old, I'm not enough, it's not enough, I'll never be enough?
Yes.
You know, I don't know if you heard the conversation I had with this 10-year-old just before, who started a campaign to end childhood slavery. And you know, I was really struck by the spirit in that child, and fearlessness, and how well-spoken, and how cultivated she is now, how her life is being cultivated to stay that way. Mm-hmm. You know, parents supporting that, not saying to her, oh, really? You want to, what? Come on, you know, get a real idea. what is it that and she never questioned how it was going to happen. I mean, she didn't know. She knew she was going to sell lemonade. That's it. But she didn't know the other steps that would be revealed to her as she took that step. So, this idea of knowing versus not knowing seems to get us in these giant potholes.
Yeah. Well, it takes time to put on the complete mask. We still have a few holes and places we can peer out of. But essentially, we are saying that my essence can't possibly make a living. My essence isn't really that beautiful. I am not really that creative. I'm not really that valuable. And we didn't learn that from Source. So when I'm working with people and clearing out some of the gunk and the garbage, then we hit the loyalty button, which is, well, this is how my dad taught me. Well, this is how my mom taught me. Well, this is the real world. And I said, well, what would it cost you if you released that loyalty? It doesn't mean you stop loving them, but now you're going to step into full abundance. And that's what you just asked. Why is there fear? Why is there the risk of loss that we perceive should we fully step into all that we are?
We are so accustomed to holding on to family pattern. I mean, over and over again, you'll hear stories. My mother was a narcissist. My father, we didn't. My grandmother was, and this one did this, and the other one did that. The fact that my mother was a drug addict and an alcoholic and actually killed herself after the second time. What part of that played in my life where I thought that was going to be my legacy, and what part didn't? And so it's interesting, to see why we hold on to some things that absolutely don't have to become who we are. I mean, I don't think, look, let's talk about Source for a minute. Source looks at us and says, what? That was your parents. Now you have to carry that thing forward? Or that's how you were treated back then, and so you should carry that thing forward? I mean, the fact that I was homeless at 17, does that mean that I have to be homeless at 70? Is that in my brain? I don't want that, Leslie.
Right, but that's another part of what I do, which is clearing the ancestral line.
Yeah.
And then also going through
that.
all kinds of, past lifetime contracts, agreements, cords, vows. How many of us have made a vow? I remember when I hit the glass ceiling in corporate America, I said, I'll never let that happen to me again. And I made a decision about how I was going to make more money than anybody. And you may have a vow that you have. What's the problem with the vow? That sounds okay, right? That sounds ambitious. But do you hear the limit in it? I will never let. So all of a sudden, I'm shutting some doors. I'm absolutely separating myself from a potential path, and I've decided that nowhere can Source open a door for me.
Right. Or you you lock that thing. I'm listening to you talk about it.
Exactly right.
That door's shut.
Exactly. So what are your vows? What are some commitments you've made? And these things don't come from great experiences, by the way. These things come from some painful places. So let's acknowledge them, and now let's say, do I want to hold on to them?
Awesome. Let's take a short break. For those of you tuning in, you're tuning in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne. We're going to take a short break. We're going to let you know how you're going to connect with Leslie during the show today. I'm going to tell you about our upcoming events and much more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to move past limiting beliefs and unconscious obstacles that are holding you back from financial prosperity? Do you want to be free from debt and that feeling of being disempowered? Mary Jane Allen is a financial healer and joy creation specialist who uses her unique set of tools included in her financial healing process to help her clients move past those beliefs and fears. For more information and to contact Mary Jane, visit her website, manifestyourlifedream.com, and begin your financial healing process today.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthисfunny.com.
Used clinically by top Lyme doctors, Beyond Balance herbal formulas have helped thousands of patients battle tick-borne disease by providing superior immune system support and enhancing detoxification. Beyond Balance formulas are sold through healthcare professionals. The oral drops contain non-GMO food-grade vegetable glycerin, making them well-tolerated by children and alcohol-sensitive patients. For more information, licensed or certified healthcare practitioners can call BioResource, the exclusive Beyond Balance distributor for the United States and Canada, 800-203-3775.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners, award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatshow.com for listening times in your area.
Tune in each Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio to Limelight Radio with Katina Makris. This is an inspirational, cutting-edge radio show educating worldwide listeners on a diversity of Lyme disease-related topics. Each week, Katina will interview some of the world's leaders in health, wellness, spirituality, and human potential. For more information, visit limelightradio.com. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne, right here on Transformation Talk Radio with me, Dr. Pat. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to give you an opportunity to call into the show to get some of that sludge, get some of that stuff moved around, because that's what Leslie does. That's what she does so well. You're going to hear a few stories about, what it's been like for her on the road and, how she's able to help people, move that stuff away. And really bring in that unconditional love of Source, how that works. Leslie, thank you for joining me here today. Before we kind of jump ahead and we, talk to folks about, calling in today, let's talk a little bit about your website. Let's make sure folks know how to follow you and the different places you're going to be at some of these expos and so forth.
All right. The website is lesliefontaine.com, LESLIEFONTEYNE. And my number is 678-665-3366. And you can check out my site if you want your personalized sessions or you want to see where I'm going. I also have the radio show now on the site and several CDs that you can purchase. Yeah.
So, we're talking about Sheer Alchemy, of course, the show, but we're talking about authenticity as a key to abundance. Boy, I wonder what would happen to us if we could really wrap ourselves around that for sure. And I know we're going to be taking callers to help with this process. I would love for you to share with our listeners what they're going to need when they call into the show. What is it that clearing does to help them?
All right. I'm a little unlike some people that are kind of hard on their clients and listeners. When people say, I don't know what I want, mm-hmm. I am extremely compassionate about that. And let me tell you why. We have a lot of places in our energy field, a lot of places in our meridians, a lot of places in our chakra column that store energy and are conflicted. So you have one part of you saying, go this way. You have another part of you saying, go that way. You have another part of you that says, oh, no, but Dad would think this. And you have, oh, no, but my society thinks that. And so if you come in and you are absolutely stuck, then clearing is this capability to help go deep into who you are, get rid of some of these conflicts, and surface some of the clarity that's not lost. It's there. But be sweet with yourself. Sometimes people panic that they're not going to get an answer in 5 minutes about who they are. Think about how long the gunk took to get on. And it's going to be quick, but be okay with not knowing for a period.
You know, so one of the things that I love is that not knowing, but knowing. Not knowing about, you know, the details of things, but knowing that something's going to move. You know, I mean, there is something we can know.
Absolutely.
Because of all the people you've worked with, the way that Source works.
Right.
Something's going to happen.
Right.
Right?
Right. So, I mean, I'm going to see your field. I'm going to be getting connected to what the block is, what's going on with you. I'm going to bring in the masters, the archangels. We're going to start clearing some of these things. I'll be channeling. I'll see it clairvoyantly in your field. And I'm going to ask your permission about moving it and shifting it. And you may feel a lot of emotion. You may feel some resistance. And we don't just, you know, say, well, too bad. We just look at it further. Sometimes, you know, something that's a big deal to one person is absolutely nothing to another. But that's your life lesson. That's your little battle. So don't minimize what your experience is. Nothing is so insignificant if it surfaces this opportunity for you to step into all that you are.
Well, we'd love to open up the phone lines for those of you out there that would love to connect with Leslie directly during the show. Right now, we do have a toll-free number. We love our toll-free number. We have had this toll-free number for a really long time. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. And you're absolutely right. Those of you that have been calling in at 1 a.m. in the morning and 2 a.m., we actually do know you're calling in and not able to get back to you at that time. But this is live during the show. We'd love to take your call. We'd love for you to connect with Leslie and to get some help, clear some things out, get some insight, and let's rock on. 1-800-930-2819. Mr. Benny will pick up the phones. Opening ourselves to healing and clearing. And that's the thing that we started to talk about. That's opening up the phone lines. Let's talk about what that really means, you know, when we say opening ourselves to healing and clearing, especially in the context of what we're talking about today. Authenticity, the key to abundance. You know, how are these things working together? It's like a chicken and egg question, isn't it? It's a little bit like that.
Yeah, but if you've begun and you've stepped into this, something prompted you, and you alluded to it earlier. If it was, you know, you're back to the wall, a personal crisis, something that woke you up, and you begin to shift in that direction, you take a look, and you may be absolutely horrified with what you see. And you may wonder, how have you possibly lived this life for 30 years, been asleep, lived with someone that was not supportive of your essence, lived beneath your potential, all these things. So what does a person naturally feel when they discover this? There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of grief because you've somehow let yourself down. All of a sudden, the rest of the world isn't meaning as much to you. I would not confuse this with depression. This is a little different than that. This is an awareness. So you allow the sadness, and then you go in and say, you know, do I want to shift? Do I want to change? Well, the minute you say that, you begin to freak out. This is the natural step 2. Freak out. And the reason you freak out is because you're afraid that too much will change. You won't be able to control it. Then you discover you're, you know, fairly controlling about your life. You've confined it and arranged it in a way that's manageable for you. There's a lot of progressions through this, but as we start to remove it, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel freer. You're going to step into some of those decisions and choices that matter to you. And then we'll surface a new set of blocks, right? So this is the peeling of the onion. It's a joyous thing, but don't be alarmed if you feel some sadness.
You know, part of this is peeling of the onion. Where is the sadness coming from? I mean, I think it's important to talk about that, you know, because most of us, if we follow what you were saying earlier, we suck it up, we hold it in, we don't demonstrate, the emotions that we have, or we go to another extreme. We're angry at everybody. We make that really acutely known. But we're bundled up with grief of some kind.
We are. And so much of it is tied to our fear of insecurity, our fear that we will lose what takes care of us. And if we were to really unravel what takes care of us, it's really not there anyway. So it's a frightening view to take a look at that and to then take ownership. Hey, I can create my own security. I am responsible for myself. I can bring in the light beings and those that would support me. I can make choices. It's okay to make mistakes. All these things that we've not allowed and that we've prohibited in our lives, we can now step into.
Well, we have some folks, yes, we have quite a few people waiting to chat with you, Leslie. Are you ready?
I hope so.
I love the not knowing, right?
Awesome.
Rock on, Mr. Benny.
Yeah, we'll take Angel calling in from Seattle to start things off.
Hi, Angel.
Yep. Hello, Dr. Pat. Hello, Leslie. How are you this morning?
Wonderful.
Good. I was just wondering, generally, I've been dealing with a mother that passed away about 7 years ago, and so I went to California to kind of do some spiritual, you mentioned the peeling the onion, layers of an onion, and I didn't know anything about chakras or anything that I'm going through right now, and I kind of got a crash course when my mom passed away. I just really was so entrenched in grief and just shock, and so I'm much further along than where I was back then, but I'm wondering, how do I look? I'm still dealing with some health issues, and I think it ties into the grief, like my kidneys and solar plexus area, stomach.
Yeah. So, Angel, what do you really want to step into right now? If you could step into your life and you fully owned it, what would you want? And it doesn't have to be a thing, a job. It has to even be an experience. What would that be?
Happiness, security, and prosperity, knowing that I deserve. I think I had a very, very abusive father who was just, you don't deserve this or that, and that's probably what the root core issue.
Yeah, it is. And so we'd want to remove some of the agreements with that energy. And so bringing in some of the masters and archangels right now to deal with that with you. And as you're presenting your willingness, that's fine. One thing I'm getting for you is that you are your own security. And so if you want security, what does that represent to you?
Oh, boy.
I'm getting a lot of fear in your heart space right now. So
a home. I haven't had a home for a long, long time. Like, everything was totally taken, demolished. It was pretty tragic what I went through. I think most of people in society today, especially with the economy, they're worried, will I lose my house, my car, my job? I had all of that taken away, like in one quick swoop, and my mom at the same time.
Okay.
So it was all just done, and, I guess I started on the spiritual path because there was no other way. It was either you were going to perish or you got to figure this out. Yeah. And I'm happy that I got on this path, and I'm just so ready to not be tied into that old program or contracts, as you put it. That's kind of really a done deal. I'm so ready for that to be, it's done.
So it's really tight in your heart space. So I want you to just agree right now that you're willing to let go of the contracts and agreements with the energies and the programming and what's in your mental field regarding limitations, regarding the economy, regarding all these things you've talked about. Just really creating a releasing right now. So we're going into your second right now, and we're going to release some of those contracts. And there's so much, we can do on the radio right now. But if you can just really allow some of this to go, we're going to go from the beginning of your timeline all the way into present time. And we're going through your ancestral line. So there's a lot. What I'd like you to do offline from this call is I'd like you to really, you're very aware, okay? So I want you to notice all the things that are creating the constriction in your heart space, all the fears, because these are core fear programs. You've carried them for multiple lifetimes. We're going to clear them out so that you can begin to draw in different energies, okay? So just continuing to allow, even past this call when we hang up, we're clearing out these contracts. They're beginning to shift and move, and I can do a lot more work with you. Obviously, my sessions are 75 minutes long, so we're just doing something very quick here. But make a note of what some of the fears are, what you perceive. Don't just throw words around like security and happiness. What the heck is that to you? Because that's getting to the essence of who you are. And then once you define it, then the blocks surface about why you can't step into it. And then you can write me an email at leslie@lesliefontaine.com, and I'll give you some more tips on how to step through this.
Awesome. Let's take a short break. If you want to continue to talk with Angel during the break, you can. But otherwise, Angel, thank you so much. And for those of you out there that were on the line, please call us back, 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. We will connect you with Leslie. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Where do you desire to go in your life? Are you only looking outside yourself for the answers? What if you use your soul's wisdom to lead the way? So what is the soul, and how do you access its wisdom? Soul Suitcase with Victoria Cohen will unpack these questions and help you tap into and trust your own inner voice to solve everyday problems. Our Soul Suitcase is a treasure chest of wisdom inside us waiting to be discovered. Listen to Soul Suitcase while Victoria Cohen takes everyday situations like job loss, relationship struggles, parenting challenges, work stress, and health concerns and shows you how awakening to your inner voice helps you make more conscious choices where your life flows more smoothly with greater clarity, purpose, grace, and ease. As a psychotherapist and soul coach, Victoria has inspired thousands of clients over the past 31 years to listen to their inner wisdom and let it guide them on their true path. You can learn this too on Soul Suitcase with Victoria Cohen. Your soul suitcase is packed. Are you ready to start your journey?
Tune in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, remove your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Speaker, teacher, channel, clairvoyant, Leslie Fonteyne is a transformation catalyst who channels a powerful energy from source to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times and LeslieFontaine.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Get inspired. Create the life you desire with internationally known radio host and motivational speaker Sue London. Sue inspires millions of people to overcome difficult or traumatic situations in their lives. People feel hope, courage, and are ready to move forward after hearing Sue speak. Book motivational speaker Sue London for your next event at AskSueLondon.com. That's AskSueLondon.com.
Yeah, that's what we got. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show Network. And today featuring Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne. Leslie, before we go to the phones again, let folks know how they can find out more about you, how they can schedule a session, what number to call, all of the above.
All right. Go to my website, lesliefonteyne.com, LeslieFonteyne. There you can see what sessions I have available, the time slots. You can schedule it. You can reach out to me by email. You can see the different products I have in terms of teachings and clearing meditations. And you can also call me at 678-665-3366.
Okay. Now, we're talking today, Sheer Alchemy. We're talking about authenticity and its relationship to abundance. It's a very, very powerful conversation. And, what does it mean to be able to get to that place, to be able to tap into source, and to live in the place of not knowing everything? For those of us, any of you out there, if you're like me, I shared a story yesterday at a meeting I was at, and I talked about what my life was like from age 5 to 7 and what I remember about it. And it's interesting what we do remember. The difficulty is when we let those memories run our lives, how they become a story to limit us. And today, Leslie is here to tell you that you can get some help with this. We don't have to be the story of either this lifetime for us or past lives for us or our parents' lives. We just don't have to do it. Let's go to the phones, Mr. B.
Yeah, we'll take Linda calling in from Shoreline now.
Hi, Linda. Welcome to the show.
Well, good morning and welcome to life, both of you. Thank you so much for doing the work you do.
Yeah, sister, that's a good one.
You guys, Dr. Pat, you have just lifted the consciousness of this planet. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. How can we support you today?
Well, I feel like everything is lined up for me, and I'm ready to I feel like I'm ready. I'm like a champagne bottle. I'm ready to, the cork's ready to pop, and I've got some really great abundance that's lined up for me. And I'm a little skittish because I feel like there's something that I'm doing or maybe where I'm coming from that's keeping it at bay. So I thought I'd call and ask that question. Could you help me out with that?
Okay. So I brought in all the A-team before the call, so I must have been ready for you. So I'm going to ask you right now to drop into, it's kind of like in your second and your third, and also there's some hanging on your arms going on. Don't quite know what that is, but there's part of you that's carried a lot of other people's energy, carried a lot in behalf of other people's responsibilities that you've taken on. So let's go into this fear of what you're holding back on. I'm going to go with you right now. We're bringing in the masters. It's not a secret to you. So what's going on?
Well, we had a death in our family this last month.
Okay.
And also this in latter part of February, and now there's been some things with my work.
Okay.
But I have this other project that I've been doing for about a year and a half, and I'm just really so stepping into knowing how it can take off.
Okay.
But it's funny that you said something about my arms because my left arm has just been hurting so bad,
Mm-hmm.
and I got some massage for it, but it feels like there's something emotional with it.
It is. It's your ancestral line. There's a lot you're carrying. And sometimes we don't know when we're carrying other people's garbage. Here's the thing, is that, when we clear, it's a gift of God. It's a gift of Source because whatever the trigger is, whether it's this new project, whether it's the death in the family, whatever it is that affects us, it gives us this opportunity to step in, step up, go to the next level. So this is what you're doing. So when you're feeling the grief, releasing it, and then stepping into your joy. So right now you're clearing beautifully in your heart space right now. Your arms are starting to let go, but give yourself permission to release those energies. So we're going through the beginning of your timeline right now and also through your ancestral line. And we're just clearing out a lot of the energies that you've been carrying. This is just stuff from very young for you. You've been doing it a long time. So even though someone can pass in the physical, their energy's still hanging out. Sometimes they like to, keep advising us, even though they don't know anything yet. So let's let them let go, and I'm going to bring in one of the masters to take that energy away from your field. We never break the unconditional love tie, ever, 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 but we're releasing the stuff that's holding you back. So just let it go. And don't be afraid of some of the grief. You have, you're a very pumped up person, But do not slam yourself when you have some dips, because those dips are gifts as well. So pay attention to them and ask yourself, what's this shift about? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I feel like there was something with my great-grandfather because I felt like I changed at age 5. I remember distinctly when he died that I changed.
And there's also some cords in your communication channel, so we want to let those go.
Okay.
And just choose to release, because this is a part of you stepping into your voice. You have a little fear sometimes of not knowing what you're talking about, or just being impromptu, being spontaneous with a new client or with a new opportunity that shows up. Just let it go. Just, you too can bring in the guidance. Get to know some of the masters and pick the ones that suit you. We all have an energy about us, right? Pick the ones that work for you. Bring them in, and don't be afraid when you don't know. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I feel that resonance. Thank you.
Yeah, no. I actually can hear a difference in your voice.
Yeah, I actually feel different.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've changed. I feel like I'm more of who I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
wonderful.
That's great.
That's awesome. And so we're just going to do a little wash on you, and we'll do it after we close the call. But feel free anytime to write me and just say what's happening. And, like I said, this is a progression. So when you hit your next wall, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. We're going to move that out too.
Oh, thank you very much. I so appreciate it. Blessings and light and love to you both.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Linda, for calling in. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Leslie's going to give you lots of information, and we're going to talk about how you can bring that authenticity and amazing abundance in your life. When? Not like next year, next 10 years, next lifetime. It is like now. N-O-W. Now. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with the Dr. Pat Show. Dr. Pat Show Network and Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne. When we come back, we're going to give you lots of information about Leslie, how you can schedule your full session. These are just short little minis right here today. How you can find out where she's going to be, see her in person, all of the above. Got a great website, too. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedman Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you're ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's thefearandanxietysolution.com, or call 866-903-6463. That's 866-903-MIND.
Tune in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, identify your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Leslie Fonteyne is a transformation catalyst and clairvoyant who uses her intuitive and energetic gifts to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times, and LeslieFonteyne.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
What's getting your attention as physical pain or illness? Have doctors been unable to help? Consider an intuitive healing session with Christy Borst. Amazing things happen every day, sometimes with jolting awareness, and sometimes with subtle shifts aided with Christy's divine healing gift. Release that which no longer serves you. For more information and to contact Christy, visit healingresonance.us. That's healingresonance.us.
Get insider knowledge about everything that is going on at Transformation Talk Radio. Go to transformationtalkradio.com and enter your email to receive our newsletter. Stay updated on new hosts, inspiring guests, and good news articles from around the world. We look forward to having you join our community.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Sheer Alchemy. Leslie Fonteyne joining me here today. We want to make sure that, Leslie, folks have your information, but also to know that what's happening on the show today is just a snippet of what a full session is like with you. So tell folks a little bit about how they can find out more about you, but also if they'd like to schedule a complete session with you, they could do that as well.
Absolutely. I have clients that I work with weekly, some every other week, because this is a lot of stuff that happens within a session. But you can go to my website, sign up for one or more sessions. I have a few programs out there. Again, the website is lesliefontaine.com, and you can write me at leslie@lesliefontaine.com. Also, my number is 678-665-3366. And very likely, I'll be coming to a town near you.
Oh, it's awesome. You know, I want to kind of bring us back to where we started in the conversation with authenticity, but also the conversation of authenticity and source. And, you know, we have this idea about what source is, and especially, you know, if we come from that place of a limitation around it. But I wanted you to talk a little bit about the role of source and how we look at source in our lives and what we need, you know, what's important for us to know as we look at source in terms of our authenticity and abundance.
Well, source is 100% abundance, 100% health, 100% goodness, purity, the highest vibration that we can bring in. And there's only so much we can bring into our physical life. If you've noticed, energy slows down as it comes into the physical. So we may have these great inspirational ideas out there, and then we can't seem to get our physical to catch up to go make it happen. And do not despair. That's okay. But source is unconditional love as well, not something that we exactly learned in this world. And so resolving that is much of this spiritual journey. It's exciting. It's awesome. So if you think about that saying, what would you attempt if you could not fail? Source is going, I'm not basing my unconditional love for you on your perfection. I'm basing it on the fact that you're in Earth School. You're stepping into all that you are. There's some things we're going to clear. This isn't your first time at the rodeo. You've been through many lifetimes. And now how do you step into it? So we draw in source like this incredible light. We bring in light beings and masters, and we upgrade our energy as we clear each of these blocks that are presented to us as you step into stuff. You know, if you didn't step into anything, none of it would surface, right?
Right.
So the excitement of this is that you did step into something. So don't be alarmed. Get excited.
Well, you know, this is really kind of, you know, the conversation that I had earlier today with someone, and that is the place that we get to come from as we step into the world of not knowing and being okay with not knowing. I mean, it really has been for me a lifelong lesson, but also something that I do fairly well most of the time. But the times I don't, it is a showstopper. It really is. You know, the idea of being so afraid of having to know and not trusting. Because that's what that's about for me, and I don't think I'm alone with that.
No, all of us have that. And again, if you look at it as this gift of the moment, to go, where is that coming from? What's the essence of that fear of trusting? Where did it come from? then we get to remove that. You know, some of these things, we don't want to do it again. I call it one more time around Mount Sinai. How many times do we want to do this stuff? You know, let's just decide today on whatever our favorite handicap is today. Let's just say, I want to be done this time. And see what happens when you choose that one thing. Don't take the whole enchilada. Just pick something and say, you know what? I want to be done with this thing. I want to clear it. I want to be released from it. And I really want to step into those things that make me laugh so out loud.
And honestly, this is really interesting. It is getting to the place where we do want to be where we want to be done with it, whatever it is. And a lot of times, Leslie, I think what you're saying is brilliant because we don't even know what the it is. We do not know what the it is. We just know there's something like getting in the way because we are not getting the abundance of the universe as people talk about. We're not getting that thing that's coming towards us. So we know something's getting in the way. And we know we're afraid because we don't take action. You know, we may not make that phone call that we're supposed to make, or we may not send that email, or we may not get out into the world and go to a movie or talk on stage. Or it's really interesting. You were at the Northwest Women's Show as well.
Yes.
And thank you, by the way, for participating. Thank you. I can't wait for us to get that video up. Jessica has done an amazing job. It's just great. That was new for me. I didn't realize how much fear I carried around video and cameras, and I don't really know what that's about. But what I discovered with all of us at that show was we stepped into some kind of energy or something. Everything came together. Things that most people would say, what? You accidentally ordered 2 green screens and you needed both of them? What can we say to folks about the freedom that not knowing and authenticity brings to us?
Wow, that's a very big question, because when we think about not knowing, for many of us that hits us in the gut, literally, which is that we think we won't be successful, we won't be able to accomplish something, we won't be able to do it. So releasing ourselves from the performance begins to release us from the rules of this world. And we step into intentions, we step into power that Source makes available to us, we step into our own essence, and we start to live on a different plane. And that can be frightening if you haven't done it a lot. So that's why I always say pick something small, pick something manageable for you. You'll get better at it. You'll start to know how guidance comes to you. You'll start to notice where your fear stops you. You'll start to realize, oh, that's a voice from my past I don't need to listen to. And you'll begin to step through it, and you'll do bigger and better things.
One of the things that I love about this conversation is how we get to actually live our lives and step into it. I want to thank you for today. I want to thank you for, sheer alchemy. I want to thank you for a very, very big conversation about authenticity. What can someone do today? What is one thing we could say to our listeners today that they could either do or be aware of?
Well, I would say that today I'm getting a lot in the heart space from the listeners, and a lot of times I'm picking up energy. Even if you don't call in, I'm picking it up. And so there's a lot of anguish and heartbreak in the heart space. There's a lot of fear of stepping into the joys of your heart. There's a lot of sorrow about what you haven't done yet. What I'd like you to do today is your personal assignment for yourself. This is your gift to yourself, is to list out on 2 sides of the paper, draw a line down the middle, the things that you are desiring, the things that you feel a lot of joy and happiness about, and on the other side, what's coming up about why you can't have it. This is data. This is just data. Give yourself the chance to see it, and then sit with it for a week and see what you choose to release as a result of surfacing it. Sometimes you just release it because you see it and you realize you don't need to hold on to it anymore. Give yourself that gift.
Thank you, Leslie, for joining me one more time. Let's have your website. Let's have information. Let's give out your phone numbers. And certainly if you go to Leslie's website, you can check her events page and you'll see where she's going to be.
LeslieFonteyne.com. Write me at Leslie@LeslieFonteyne.com. The number is 678-665-3675. 3366.
Thank you, Leslie. I want to thank all of you for tuning us in and turning us on. If you've missed any part of this, you can go to Transformation Talk Radio later on today. You'll be able to listen to all of it. TransformationTalkRadio.com. If you want to follow us on Facebook, The Dr. Pat Show, Twitter, The Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio. All of the above. We have, we've been on a mission to make this super simple for everybody out there. Pretty soon we'll have some new websites for all of you to look at, to enjoy. Really some fun stuff. And remember, as you go out into the world today, you are truly amazing, abundant, and we love helping you live life full out. We'll see you next time on the show.
Laura Longley is on a mission to remove stuckness from your life for good and replace it with happiness. Tune in Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com for The Laura Longley Show, where authentic change takes flight. Say yes to that inspired you and goodbye to your stuckness as Laura and her guests deliver powerful ways to work through common problems in this fun and unique hit show.
Introducing a new hit show, Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Get ready to stir up your passions, remove your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Gifted, shifted, and powerful is what this show is about. Tune in each month to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times, and LeslieFonteyne.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
Tune in each Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio to Limelight Radio with Katina Makris. This is an inspirational, cutting-edge radio show educating worldwide listeners on a diversity of Lyme disease-related topics. Each week, Katina will interview some of the world's leaders in health, wellness, spirituality, and human potential. For more information, visit limelightradio.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Having trouble keeping up with the accelerated, life-altering changes occurring on the planet? The quantum vortex is the brainchild of Meg Benedicte, a pioneer in quantum healing and energetic activations. Weaving together ancient spiritual knowledge, quantum physics, and vibrational healing, Meg Benedicte is accelerating change at the cellular level. For more details on private sessions, meditation CDs, downloads, and teleseminars, visit newearthcentral.com.
What would you do if you knew that you could not fail? The Dr. Pat Show with Dr. Pat Basile is a radio forum for some of the world's most influential people in the fields of health, wellness, and human potential. Dr. Pat brings together and introduces visionary scientists and futurists, environmentalists, educators, business leaders, inventors, filmmakers, authors, artists, mystics, and healers who inspire and support individual and collective growth and positive cultural shifts. This award-winning radio show empowers the listening community to be the change they want to see in the world. Tune in to the Voice America Empowerment Channel every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Dr. Pat Show with Dr. Pat Basile, radio to thrive by.
Tune in to Intuit University, compassionate guidance connecting you to your inner wisdom with internationally renowned psychic and medium Sherry Dillard, the second and fourth Thursday each month at 12 p.m. Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Get ready for an hour of practical spirituality and a fun and magic carpet ride into the spirit realm. This hit show is a combination of call-in readings and intuitive mentoring as Sherry supports and empowers you to create your best life in relationships, career, finances, life purpose, and spirituality. For more information, visit sherrydillard.com.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit TheTruthIsFunny.com.